You want to start first, right? Good.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live. I'm super excited to host our game night. This is actually my first game night that I am hosting. And I'm going to start by introducing myself, and then I'm going to just go around real quick. I'll have the guys introduce who they are, and then we'll just jump right into this game.
Yeah.
So my name is Naka C. Onilifor. I have a YouTube channel, and it's been about a little over 3 years. I make things visible about Black women. So my slogan is making the invisible visible about Black women. If that sounds good to you, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. And for the guys here, I'm gonna have you answer. Oh,
I can go first. Just introduce myself.
yes. I'm sorry.
It's cool. Yeah. K-Mo with the Brother to Brother show. We also, when we talk about take the stance of Black men and men of color, talk about mental health, stress, whatever it is, Black male. And then we also have a section where we talk Iron Circle. We just come together as Black men and we have conversation around anything that has to do with the struggles and difficulties that we have within our community and how to make ourselves better and move on to and help our communities grow stronger. So that's what we do on the Iron Circle. But the Brother to Brother show is a part of this particular podcast, and I had some great men on tonight. And so thank you again for showing up. And we about to show out. It's on you.
Yes, thank you, Corey. And not forget the organizer of this. All right. So the three questions that I have for you all, if you could start by then, this is going to go for the first person. If you can just say, who you are, that could be whether, if you have a platform, you can say that, or just, who you are generally, however much you want to tell us about yourself. If you are married or not married, that's the second question. And the third question is your general outlook on relationships today. So I'm going to start with the first gentleman in the first box.
Good evening. My name is Hassan Mims. I'm a proud graduate of Florida A&M University. I am an educator of 26 years. I enjoy life. I enjoy kids. I'm going to be single forever, and I'm not married, and I enjoy my life.
Oh, okay. Well, I know there's a lot of guys who can't wait to hear what you have to say and how you're going to answer some of these questions. All right. So same questions for the next gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, how y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Kenny Wright. I'm a fitness professional. I own a gym over in Atlanta, Maryland. 52 years old, single, and just looking forward to the conversation.
Nice. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Our next gentleman up. And if you want me to repeat, I can repeat the question. So you're just saying who you are. You're saying if you're married or not married. And the last question is your general outlook on relationships today. And that's for the gentleman in the brown sweater. Sorry.
Okay. Brian King. I'm an educator of about, I think, 18, 19 years. I lose track. Down here in Atlanta, Georgia. But I've met a lot of these brothers when I was up in DC. I am married. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm married. Married for 13 years now, I think. Not 13 years, I know. And then my outlook on relationships, watching from the outside in, I like this side a little bit more, but this side ain't for the faint of heart either. So, yeah. But I'm optimistic. For my brother.
All right. Thank you. Last but not least.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kenneth Smith, educator for 18 years, hailing from the great Grambling State University, where everybody is somebody. Just want to let everybody know, married, 4 kids, been with my wife, married with my wife for 5 years. We've been together for 10. Mixed family, just to add that crease into it, the little dynamics. So just wanted to just say hi to everyone and just happy to be here to share my perspective.
All right. Love that. And I love the diversity. And shout out to all the educators. I'm also an educator as well. So that's awesome. All right. So I am pulling up my questions here. Corey, did you want to add anything, or you want me to just jump right?
Well, I know we just talk about the present state of relationships. I'm kind of torn between it because, being a middle-aged man now and seeing where we are presently with our relationships with our Black women and just women in general. I feel like there's a war going on, and the key, we talk about this all the time. Like, we want to stop that war. We don't really know how to stop that war because if we don't come together sooner or later, I don't know what's going to happen to our children's children. And I know our great grandparents will be rolling over in their grave if they see that we can't even be together as a community, and so it's tearing our world and our community apart. And we're just trying to figure out how to get it back.
Love that. Thank you for that. All right. Well, I am, and if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes and making sure everything is functioning on YouTube, which I see it looks really good. All right, so I'm going to start with the very first question. This question is, and again, and I should probably say this again. We are playing a game called, I don't know the name of it, but it's basically you have to state if something is a red flag, a yellow flag, or a green flag. And so, green flag, yellow, red, however you want to do it. So I'm going to call out the question. And then, when it's your turn, you can just say whatever, whether it's red flag, yellow flag, green flag, and why. It's okay for them to say why, right, Corey?
Why? We want to debate on the yellow and the green. I mean, yellow and the red.
Okay, exactly. So
some more discussion around it, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah. So if it's yellow or if it's red, then we want you to explain your answer, and then that will open up a brief debate. So my very first question is, do you all think that it is a red, yellow, or green flag if a woman who is in a relationship still hangs out with her ex? And I'm going to start with gentleman number one.
Going with yellow, just because there seems to always be a potential that something can happen, but I also believe in trust. So it's a yellow.
Okay. All right. Gentleman number two.
Oh, that's tough. I guess I would say yellow, just from the standpoint. It depends on what kind of communication we've had in terms of like what we've agreed to in a relationship. I mean, we're still seeing other people. You know, what kind of relationship do we have? Like, why is she still kind of keeping in contact with them? Like, if they don't have children in the relationship, then So those are the questions I would probably ask her. But it really depends on the level of our relationship too. Like, she might feel like I don't have the place to ask her those questions in. So.
Okay. So we got two yellows.
Yep.
Is that right? Two yellows. All right. Gentleman number three.
Is that me?
That's you.
All right. I would say. So you said we're in a relationship, right?
Yes. Yeah. The woman is in a relationship, and she still hangs out with her ex.
I gotta say, like a yellow with red, like
orange,
like a orange. I think you gotta. If you're in a relationship if I was in a relationship with somebody, of course I gotta have a modicum of trust for them, and I gotta observe like what that interaction is, or is she upfront about the fact that they used to date and what their relationship is. I think if you're in a relationship with somebody, you see an interest there, so you can't find easy outs in certain situations, but an ex might know my current the same way I know them, and so I gotta I'm gonna look up and feel a certain way about that. But I need to see what the relationship is. So it's like orange, but closer to yellow though.
Okay.
It's an interesting perspective of a married man. So okay, that's interesting. All right, last but not least.
I have to tend to agree with Mr. King. It depends on the level of friendship it is. I come from a background where its boundaries needs to be set. So the boundaries are only set when communication. I think a buzzword nowadays that females, and this is a broad stroke, and I apologize, is the word insecurity.
Oh yeah.
And I think that word insecurity drives the conversation in a woman's direction. Because I'm not insecure because I say I don't feel comfortable. I'm not insecure because I do not um, feel a certain type of way. Take it as you may. I'm secure enough to open up and say I don't feel right about the situation. And I think a lot of times in relationships, men and women will use these certain words to dictate how we want the conversation to go. So, in a sense, when I have this conversation or she has this conversation, we need to be open to why this person feels this way. Are you ready to receive what I say? Because I understand it. If it's off the first date, like Brian said, yeah, I may be overbearing, but if we've been dating for a while or even married, and this person come around and we say we don't feel comfortable, listen to why it may be this way. And I'll leave it right there.
Okay,
And
I like that. I appreciate the nuance. Yeah, go ahead.
now I'll jump in because my wife has a friend that she used to date, but it was like high school don't count ish, but there's a friend she used to date in high school, but I know what the nature of that relationship was because she was very transparent with me in regards to what that was. And I've seen the friendship, so I don't have to assume what it is and what it isn't. And plus if it's I think kind of like Ken kind of alluded to, if it's your significant other spouse, you have you got not a modicum of trust, you have trust there. And so you may not trust other people, but I trust my significant other in every situation. So yeah, so I think it depends on the trust you have for your partner as well. If you don't trust your partner with somebody else, I think that's another conversation to have.
Facts. Did you want to add anything to this, Corey?
I wasn't going to, but I want to now.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, I thought y'all was gonna say something completely different. I'll be honest with you. That's cool because it actually shaped what I wanted to say too. Because I have been on the other side of this at least 3 times with some women that I've dated, and their significant other did not, but because they didn't know what type of person I was, right? And I'm a very respectful. So if you have a man, I want you to be with that person. But the other person, so I've lost friends, girlfriends, because their significant other says, no, you cannot be friends with me. And so I've looked at it in different ways. So I think I tend to kind of go in the middle as well. I thought I would be more red. But just listening to you all, I think it depends on the circumstance and how I feel. If I'm in a relationship with somebody and the other person, this is your last situation, I heard all of this stuff and how much you were in love with them and you about to marry them, and you can kind of see a sparkle in their eye, I'm like, I might go with yellow on that one, So yeah.
For me, okay, I'm gonna go with, it's mostly a red flag to me. And I think this is funny because I'm the only one saying that. So I don't know if it's a woman thing, but I just look at it like, why do y'all need to still talk? Like, for what? But I also am very, like, even me, like, I don't talk to any of my exes. So I also look at that. So this spills over into another thing about me kind of, I don't know how you feel about this as men, but I feel like as a woman, I don't ever fully trust, and this, I don't ever 100% trust being like really close with a man. Like, oh, we're BFFs, and like, it's one thing if we're colleagues or something like that, but like thinking that a man, like a grown man, is gonna be like my best friend, like a heterosexual, that's just a little weird to me. So because I'm so strict on myself, I also look at because I'm married, I look at my husband and I just feel like, why? Like, why do you need to be friends with your ex? But that's just my opinion. So I don't know if it's a woman thing, but yeah, I'm strict.
I wanted to share a very short story where, like, I was kicking it with a shorty for a minute, and then it came out that her ex, a real ex, meaning that they were in a bona fide relationship, lived 2 blocks away. from her house. So I automatically was like, we can't talk no more. So yeah, like I think there's some things that depend, but yeah, if you're in a bona fide relationship and that dude lives 2 blocks away, she was just like, I don't understand. Yes, I'm sorry, you are great, but we're not going to work.
Facts. Yes. And I actually have a quick story. I don't want to stop anyone else. This is really quick, but before I was I guess before I was married, I had a male friend. And the irony was that, and this is again leads into my theory, stuff be kind of weird, because when it came to him having to meet my husband, he just kept canceling. That meeting just never happened. And it was like, that's weird, you know. So it's almost make you question, like, well, were you really just trying to be friends, you know? And so then I since unfortunately had to cut him off because that was just awkward. So I think it can just be kind of tricky when it comes to the whole, you know, now that's a little different situation because I never dated him or anything like that, but just going into just this idea of just being friends with people of the opposite sex, and like, it can get a little muddy. So any other perspectives before we move on? All right, next question. I like this one. So if a woman is in a relationship and she is posting sexy pictures of herself on the internet, on social media, is that a red flag, a yellow flag, or a green flag?
Whew, that I feel that if I just am interested in kicking, so number one, let me start with the answer. The answer initially is going to be yellow. The initial answer is going to be yellow because if we're just trying to kick it, I don't care. If I feel like I'm trying to kick it and like there's a potential for more, that's a big red. No chance.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Next gentleman.
So my take on it is that if she's posting these pictures, she was posting these long before I met her. So like if I'm gonna probably know that before going into the relationship. So if I'm okay with it going into it, I'm not gonna have it as a red flag. Because I'm gonna know that, okay, well, this is how she is. Um, and I just know that I have to deal with it. I do think that's just something that's going to come with the territory. Honestly, with me, I'm dating someone. I kind of go back and forth. Like if I think they look good, I don't mind them flaunting. Um, um, I know they probably got getting guys in their DMs and all this other stuff, but at the same time, if they were me, then either they crazy and that's why they're not dealing with anybody. They look that good, but they still ain't dealing with anybody. There's something wrong. And and like I said, and I just deal with it from the standpoint. I probably wouldn't take the relationship as serious as I would if somebody I was really like trying to settle down with. Um, so I was like, yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a yellow, but I know what I'm getting myself into. So.
Okay, I understand. All right, gentleman number 3.
Red. I'm good.
I love it.
If I gotta go back and forth about how I can make it make sense, like I'm all right. On top of that, like me and my friends follow the same people on Instagram a lot of the times. I like I said before, I don't want to have too many things in common with my friends. So when it comes to that. So yeah, red flag for me.
Okay. Says the married man. Another married man. So can't wait to hear what you're about to say.
No. So I have to agree with Brian. Definitely red flag. Because men as suitors, we're visual people. So we know what we see is what we want. Women don't understand what we see, what we want. We already put you in the bucket. Like women and men have a different perception of suitors. Women think they can change men. Men would accept the women for who they are, put them in the bucket, except for those simps. Simps have messed up the game. All right.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, if you're posting those pictures, just like I think like Mr. Wright says, we'll deal with it, but in a certain thing. But if we truly looking for a wife, we're looking for certain qualities. It may be delusional. Women may not agree, but that's what men want. So at the end of the day, in 2025, that ideology of what men want has been skewed. Women tell us what we want and what we should accept versus women listen to what men want. Because even I think that even the thugs of the thugs want a certain type of woman. But at the end of the day, what's accessible, what's easy. And I think that women succumb to that ideology throughout the years, and they think, okay, I need to poke it out. I need to show this. Oh no, my sister, slow it down. Slow it down. That's low hanging fruit for a reason. And men know that because again, women deal with men and men deal with women. We know what we want. We so grown, we know we come encounter with several type of women of the same ilk. So this is a process. Yeah, she's posting it. We ask ourselves, why is she posting it? Like men are more psychological than we think. We ask these questions. Even if we don't say it out loud, it's a process. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Wow. You broke that all the way down. I hope ladies, I hope you're listening to this because you're getting some free game right now. I'm eating it up. This is very interesting. Corey, do you have anything to add?
I won't go into it because the brothers already took care of it, but it's a red flag for me.
Okay, it's a red flag. For
I'll
me,
I'll stop talking to women for that. So.
Oh really? So you will literally cut a woman off?
Yeah. I can't see you any other way. So if I've had that happen to me before, and I tried to bring it back. The young lady was really nice, and I still, I just knew like as soon as you did that, I can't look at you the same.
Now I have a nuanced question, and this is of course as a content creator, someone who is the face of my brand and all that type of stuff, having to put things out there. And like, I'll be honest, by nature, I'm naturally more like modest. You would be shocked. It's actually my husband is the one to be trying to hype me up because I'm like, no, anyway. But so of course, I don't post anything that I feel like my husband would have a problem with. But I'm a little bit more conservative, I guess, in that sense. But my nuanced question is, I guess I'm curious, and maybe Corey, you can answer this. What is going too far? Now, of course, I know what's going too far, right? But I think that there is like a gray area where women are kind of like, and I'm sorry to cut you off. And I'll say this as someone who I have posted a picture and I have been accused of thirst trapping when I was literally just standing there with my hand on my hip, smiling, and you're thirst trapping. Like, I'm just posting a picture.
So to be like, so here's the one thing I would say. It is what she has on. If she's half naked, like if it's one step to that you would show me in the room, like you got to think about that. Like bikinis, I'm still a certain way about bikinis, but I understand about bikinis. It's the bikini, but she's turned and has a behind showing for me, right? But if behind showing, now,
the behind showing,
because that's what every woman poses now. They turn their butt around, they looking around. But but if you with your girlfriends, y'all may be on a boat for the holla, you know what I'm saying? You're posing frontward, that's different. That's a little bit more tasteful. But once you start doing things that I know other men can see you, and it's multiple pictures like that, it's also how you're posed in the picture. I'm still probably feel some type of way a little bit about the bathing suit or whatever. But if it's classy and you have everything covered up, even though if it's a two-piece, then I'm all right with that. It's when it gets to the point where you're turning around, bent over, these kind of things, and you like and oh yeah, they've been bent over too.
Yeah, that bent over, it's definitely going too far. Okay, I can probably keep asking questions. I think this is one that can actually help a lot of women. So how do you explain women who do, and I'm not gonna say any names, but there's some women on the internet who have really big followings and they post very sexy pictures, and they're married. Like, how do you explain that?
I don't
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. I don't see a lot of guys who are gonna be married for a long period of time with those girls, because if you let them do that, they're gonna continue to do it. Even to Wright's point, he said he'll deal with it, but again, at the end, what did he say? I had eventually put her in her mind as not serious. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I think the guys that are like that are like what Kenny said, were kind of simps, and they allow women to kind of do what they want to do. And if you are a protector, which all the men on here are protectors, you're gonna not go but so far. And if your woman is running that and you're allowing her to kind of run wild, just the same thing. If you twist this around and a dude had I don't know, I didn't know when the gray sweatpants came out and they was talking all this stuff, or you're flaunting something, then yeah, a woman is gonna say something, because why? That's my man. Like, you're not gonna show this. Women are very protective as well.
We do not play about them gray sweatpants. Y'all need to stop that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, King, go ahead.
No, but you touched on it a little bit, but some of the women make a lot of money doing that, in that regard. And like, as I said, to each his own. It's not for me, and the thing is, it's not for me to say to draw a line in the sand for everybody. Like, there's some folks that are okay with that, and that might keep the lights on in their house. But I think that's just an arrangement that a man and woman got to have. And if you got that arrangement with your woman, and there's trust there, like, go for it. I know for me, the way I'm set up, like, I can't. That's not gonna work for me. That's not gonna work for me. But that's it. But for everybody else, to each his own. But people got to make their money the way they're gonna make their money. And if
but
it's
all
okay
money
with
ain't
the house,
good money too. And when it comes from a certain way, and that integrity and moral things, when it later on down the line, that stuff is always a back in your face.
Oh, for sure. But like, to Ken's point, it's a lot of individuals that are okay with that are gonna take that. And so it's, as if to each his own, but make your money the way you're gonna make your money. But it comes with how you make your money and how you come across. People see you before they know you.
You see, all the women will call us insecure by saying that too, by the way.
They will. That's true.
But these men who have gone through stuff, we can sit here and say that doesn't bother us, because we standing on what we believe in.
So I feel if we're married, that's a red for me. Yeah, we ain't doing that. There's no exceptions. So now there's the 1% exception, right? So here's the exception. One of my top 5 honorable wives in the universe is from this area. She's very famous. And I just finished seeing her in concert. If the singer Maya sends me a DM,
I was gonna say,
Hassan, yo, I saw you at my show. I'm interested in you. And me and Maya start talking, and then I'm gonna benefit from her body and her showing it, and she's gonna live the best life, and me too. Yes, the 1% of, like, if you're like Maya, you can show whatever you want. However, if you're not part of that 1%, hell no.
I will say this. Maya has her baggage with her, the rumors. Most men don't want, if Maya wasn't a singer and she was a regular chick, and the rumors and the allegations behind her, you wouldn't deal with her. So sometimes men are celebrities based off a woman's status. Oh, she this, that, and the third. She's desirable, just like vice versa. So in a sense, Maya, no go for me. I don't care what nobody say, because at the end of the day, at our age, black men, we're looking for we're not looking for a protector. We're looking for somebody that we can grow with and build with. Yes, she can bring the money to the bag, but Maya has so many suitors at the end of the day. She could go this way or that way in the sense.
Hey, Hassan, that's her money, bro. That ain't your money. Believe that.
Yo, I'm going to be traveling with her just like Mary J. Blige's husband was for years. I will be benefiting from it, while you all are chilling in your house.
I'll take that.
Well,
I'll take that.
and so it sounds like Hassan, you attended the concert, Maya, Brandy Mon. Were you there? So
Yes.
and I'm bringing this up only because I noticed that Kelly Rowland was actually the one who, out of all of them, was showing the most skin. She has an amazing body. But I guess, that's kind of my thing, is like, would you guys give some grace if the person's a performer or like an audience facing person? You know what I mean? Because I feel
so I would say this though. Remember, Maya's part of that less than 1%. I'm conservative on some things as an educator. Yo, if you a mama, you can't be showing that. Like, your kids can't be going to school, be like, yo, man, I saw your mama in that commercial. Yo, she banging. Yo, listen, the second we become parents, we got to have a conversation about some stuff. So Maya can do that as a single person. However, if we're in family mode, there's things I can't do and she can't do. Because I don't want my kids to be victims of certain things they might be victims to.
So what if you have kids and she doesn't?
Same thing. Same thing.
What if you're Sierra and Russell Wilson? Because she just be throwing it back and up, down, everywhere.
Unacceptable. As a parent,
and I'm like, he just seems like he's cool with it. I don't know.
Well, again, I think you're talking about a certain type of man, and I think Kenny brought that up earlier, right? I don't think any man. I'm not gonna speak for all of y'all, but I think most of y'all, if you know what Sierra was trying to do, and then now what she's doing, like her morals and values, if she is truly on this walk where she's talking about, it still wouldn't allow her to do some of the songs that she's doing now, if that makes any sense. Like to your point, Hassan, like she's now a mother and a mother to your kid. She can't be twerking on some of those songs. I wanted to go see Maxwell, right? And one of my favorite songs is A Woman's Work, right? He didn't even sing two of them songs, and I waited to the end to hear the songs. But for whatever reason, I spent all this money. I'm like, okay, this the next one. We've all been at concerts like that, So I feel like you have to make sure that you are value. Like if you're changed and you're that person, you got to hold to those values.
Agreed.
It's just like me, and like we've been out there before. I'll speak for myself. I've been out there before, and I was out there going to the clubs all the time, and it was fun. I had to say I can't go to those places anymore if I want to change. Because if I start, I'm changing my view on things. You can't go back to those old things that you were doing, thinking that it's not going to affect you. But see, women can do that. Men can't, because if we do, we're gonna be called out and held accountable. Those women not. Sierra's not being accountable for what she's doing with that twerking in the woman circle. Men gonna be like, man, you're full of it, man. They're gonna call you out, or they're not gonna just rock with you.
You wanted to say something?
So I have a quick question. I know I'm not the moderator, but just thinking about where the conversation is going. So at what point do we discount a woman's past versus her future? Like, what is the cutoff? Like, she was this way in high school, she was this way in college, she was this way in the early 30s.
Yeah.
Where do we stop it and say, okay, I'm good. We're having a good time.
So I feel, again, remember, a lot of my answers are coming from only child in my household, raised by grandma, and I want to be single for the rest of my life. So a lot of my answers are going to come from that context, okay? And I'm at the stage in my life where, like, I'm not looking for something specific per se, but I'm looking to have a good time and see what happens. So I'm not so sure if I am really concerned about the past, to be honest with you. I'm concerned about every day when I wake up, am I having a good time with my platonic friends, my romantic friend situations, and my mentees? I'm more concerned about the vibe. I think most people my age are a little bit more mature and they're looking for a little bit something more long term, and I think that's normal and I think that's fine. I think I'm clearly outside the bell curve. But for me, a woman's past, I hold very, very little against that. I'm mainly concerned about the now and are we having a good time? And that's it.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, and I appreciate you adding the context about like where you're coming from. Like you're not interested, sounds like, in marriage ever, right? So, it makes sense that you would feel that way. Really quick before I move on with the next question, I just quick story. One day, I see the time is running. One day, I had my phone and it was Tabitha Brown, who I'm sure you all know, and she was getting out of the shower and she just had like a towel on, and she literally like had a towel on in the bathroom with her phone talking to the camera. And my husband told me, just don't ever do that. So I think my point here is it's important to understand your partner and like what their boundary is. Like those intimate moments, you're in the bathroom and stuff like that. You're all wet from the shower, half naked. Like that's just kind of, versus some other things that he might be okay with. So I just wanted to kind of add that piece before we moved on. But yeah. All right. So all right, next question. The woman is in a relationship. This woman is in a relationship and she believes that a man should always pay. Is that a red flag, a green flag, or a yellow flag?
Super red flag. Non-negotiable.
Okay. And can you say why?
I think that the norms of today, like I'm not expecting her to like pay 50-50 or we like alternate who's paying or anything like that. But the idea that like I'm gonna pay, you're saying pay every time.
So you expect that the man pays?
No. So if I were to use that same social norm, am I going to expect her to cook every day and she's the only person who cleans, and then I'm the only person who takes out the trash, and then she's never going to pump her gas? No, I don't believe in social norms. Like that's lame. I believe that I'm still going to be a man. I'm going to take care of the majority of it. I'm never going to ask her to pay, but the idea that I'm going to pay every time, then if I do the converse about that social norm, that means she's going to cook every day. That means that she's cleaning the house, and that means that she's going to do everything I ask, and that's not fair. And I don't believe in that.
Can I ask a caveat question? Is it like when we go out, or is she talking about just in life? Like she doesn't touch anything.
Ooh, what do you think, Corey? How should we frame this?
I think it's just dating. Like you're trying to get to know somebody until you all make it official. Let's use that, and or that's what people, you see the guys on YouTube saying that all the time. They ask the question, do you think a man should pay? All the time for the dates and when you go out. What's the word they're using now? Be taken care of, or in their soft girl era.
Yeah. Okay. So the context is like in the dating context.
Okay.
So the man is supposed to pay. She expects the man to pay for every single date. Every time they go out, the man is supposed to pay. That's the context. We're not talking about like bills, light bills, and electric bills and all that. So, all right, gentleman number 2.
I'll say red flag only because I've been in this situation. I've been in that situation before and it didn't turn out well. So, yeah, I was dating someone and she believed that the man should pay for it all the time. I should come around, open up a door for her. That that the man should take care of her. And and I mean I grew up. I got 3 brothers. I've grown up where they taught me, you take care of the woman, right? You do, you pay, and I have no problems paying. I'll pay first day, second day, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. But there's a difference for me when it comes to when you expect it all the time, right? And when it's expected, it just takes away from like the chivalry of it. It takes away from you being able to, as a man, say, okay, I'm doing this because I want to do it, not because you expected me to do it. And so, like I said, I definitely like I I would turn away from now, going forward. Like I wouldn't deal with a woman that just expects it all the time, because it's it's more, it makes the relationship more transactional, and that's not I don't want to be in a relationship like that.
And in many ways, maybe it also feels like a entitlement. You know, that's
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, that's how she felt. Was, she was entitled to have certain things, and then, and women say this a lot about, I'm not going to give, I'm not going to play wifey to a boyfriend or to a man, but they expect the man to play husband
There you
in
go.
the situation, right? So, they expect the man to play, do husband things, but they're not going to do wifey things in a relationship. And so I'm not, when I see that stuff, that's when I'm like, okay, I'll just move on to the next.
I'm sure if something popped off, she would expect you to protect her, jump in front of whatever danger, and
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. All right, gentleman number 3.
For me, I say red flag. Primarily because I think when you're dating, for me, when I went into dating, I would go in there. I expected to pay. You know what I'm saying? I expected to pay, and that was expectation. I know for me, like that was what I was taught, is that you expect to pay. I think the one thing I watched while dating is that, was there any willingness to pay by my partner? I think that was the one thing that I would watch. Like if we were dating for a while and you asked me out this night, but you never opened your purse. Like, okay, I'm gonna pay for it, but I'm taking a note. I'm taking a note because that translates for me. It translates into other things. Like for me, when I went out, I always expected to pay, but I always watched to see what the willingness was to lean in, because I think that translates into an actual relationship. If I am holding down this portion, are you willing to lean in here? Like I think when you look at data in real, in I don't want to say real relationships, but like marriages, a majority of marriages aren't a 99, 1%, 100% on one partner. It's a partnership. Somebody's holding on this aspect while somebody's holding on that aspect. So I think it's an unrealistic expectation to expect. Like it's not when our grandfathers and grandmothers were like, we're doing it. Like it's different now. Like it's economy. At the same time, like I think as a man, I do expect it, but I'm watching to see if you're willing to pull out that purse and lean in. Like if we go out 100 times, cover 2. Cover 2. I'll cover the other 98. Cover 2. Especially the ones if you ask me out or anything like that, especially early on the stages, it shows something. It shows something.
I appreciate all the different perspectives, but as someone who's married myself, even as a woman, I can see exactly what you're saying. And for me to never, ever, ever go in my wallet would also just seem very selfish and very like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I think treating your man from time to time feels good. Like you want to do that. So yeah, I totally agree. And I think it's a red flag to not ever open your wallet as a woman. Sorry. Gentleman 4. Uh-oh. Sound. We can't hear you.
I'm fleshing out this thought process because I think a lot of women don't understand that a man don't want equality in a relationship. We want equity in a relationship. So we understand that we don't bring the same thing to the table always, but we want to make sure things are balanced. And I think that the biggest thing that for a man is really not financial. A man's man, I don't care how much money he make, it's really not financial. A man wants to feel very secure in a relationship, want to make sure he's taken care of just as much as a woman. And women don't understand, yeah, we wear our masks because at the end of the day, we have to. We say certain things because we have to, but at the core thing, we want to feel safe in the space. That's why a lot of times around our boys, we can feel like blah, blah, blah. We can say what we want to say, act like how we want to, because that's a safe place. And biggest thing with men, not the biggest, top 3, is that financial stability. Because at the end of the day, whether you're married, single, it falls on you. More so when you're married and have children and responsibilities. That family thing falls on you. Every decision that you make every dollar that you spend, whether
Mhm.
you hear, even as a father and a married man, I don't think about when I'm here. I'm thinking about if I die right now,
Mhm.
how is my family going to be taken care of? So, yes, at the end of the day, I know I didn't answer your question. I'm going to admit I didn't, but I wanted to just throw that out. It's just not, I'm not going to spend my money frivolously out there and just not have a return on my investment. And
Mhm.
that's happiness and peace of mind. It ain't having sex, it
Mhm.
ain't this, that, and the third. I'm
Mhm.
literally investing in something and I want to see a return at
Mhm.
the end of the day. And the return before sex, this, that, and the third is a little respect.
Mhm.
And that's it.
Mm, I love that. That's very well said. Corey, what can you add to this?
I'm gonna say red flag. I've always been the type of person. Some of them have talked to me, and we talked offline. I always believe in 70-30 when it comes to finances, because I look at it as a space of the woman. You see how much the woman likes you by how she spends money on you.
Ooh.
Because men already have to spend money already, but you see how a woman how much she
Just
likes you if
spending.
how she spends money on you. Because women don't like to spend money. So I'm not talking about your birthday. I'm just talking about on a random day.
Interesting.
It doesn't mean that it has to be something all the time, but also if you lose your job or something happens in the economy, and let's say for you were booming and you were
Right.
doing it, and then she's not used to it, she's going to be gone because she's not used to spending. She's just spending herself. So I will say this contribute into the relationship financially is huge. I do the same thing when I've dated for a long period of time. I always take the same thing, 70-30, but at the beginning you're going to feel that like you're going to feel like I'm doing it all the time. But every now and then that 30% is going to come in because you got to do something. And again, like Kenny said, I'm not it can't be just the intimacy all the time because for anybody, we don't like it that much. And I know women believe that we do, but when you become a middle-aged man over 35 and you
Yes.
out there, you've done it already.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you can do that's going to sway you off your path of peace. And all the men on here, I think we always talk about peace a lot of the times because that's what we need to have. We're at the age now, we've lost friends, we've lost family members, we understand, and a lot of those things have fallen on us as men. So we understand that how important, to go back, Kenny said, money is important because it's our investment. It's an investment to our own families, our extended families, and the communities that we have.
Wow. I am learning. I know this live is not supposed to be for me, but I feel like this is for me. Like this is so good, and it echoes so much of some of what I know, I guess, as a married woman. But I haven't been married 13 years. I've only been married for, I think it's a little over a year. So, but I will say, and this is for the ladies who watch. I was so surprised, like when my husband told me why he wanted to marry me. As women, I think we always think that y'all are looking at other things, like, okay, my body, my hair, my this, my that. And the stuff that he told me, I was like, what? It had more to do with character, more to
Mhm.
do with, savviness, or like just the way I think. It really, and I'm not saying those other things don't matter, but like when you are thinking long term as far as marriage, that really is true. It's like everything that I thought that he wanted to marry me for, it was like those things were kind of like more minor, and the things that he was looking at were things that I was like, what? You were paying attention to that? Like how I interacted with this person, or like what? So yeah, that's you guys are really speaking some very valuable facts right now.
I mean, I look at men as coaches, right? You take basketball; those things will get you on the team. When you're on the team, then I'm gonna put you in the game. When I put you in the game, I want you to be my star player. And once you're my star player, I want to take you to the promised land. I want to take you to, to have championships, and not just championships. I want you to be set for life. So that's kind of how I think you look at it. You want them to be set for life because that set for life thing can help you as well as we can help each other. A lot of the coach Phil Jackson it can stand on Michael Jordan and Kobe. We talk about him being the best coach of all time in basketball, but at the same time, we don't speak about him like we speak about Kobe, Shaq, and Michael Jordan. So we want you all to be that. But we got to put you in the game. I can't put you in the game if you ain't ready.
That's true. And I love the word willingness used by, I still don't have names down, used by gentleman number 3. That word willingness, that's such an important word. And I know one of the things that, you know, my husband and men in general, you guys look at is willingness to listen, you know, and that is something that I'm like, again, I probably would not have thought that that was something, but that is like a big thing. Like, are you going to be, listen, are you going to be receptive? Are you going to be open to, you know, my ideas and the things that I, you know, my leadership and that type of thing. So yeah, this is golden. This live right now is golden. I know we don't have a ton of time, but did you guys, I mean, do you have time for another question, or Corey, what do you think?
Can we do one more and then head out?
We can do one more. Yes. All right. Let me see. Ooh, okay. I'm sorry. I have to choose my favorite one. So kind of similar to the last question. If you're in a relationship with a woman and she makes more money than you, is that a red flag, a yellow flag, or a green flag? And I'm going to go to you, gentleman number 1. You seem ready.
Yo, that's a big green flag. Yes. Hell yeah. Maya, call me, baby. Maya, I'm here for you.
Oh my God.
Maya, I
You
love
are
you.
a mess.
So yes, huge green flag. Just because for me, I love a powerful Black woman, whether she's an entrepreneur, she got whatever she's got going on in her world, and like she is just a symbol of whatever she defines as power and making it work. There's nothing like a Black woman who's doing her thing, and yeah, it doesn't. It is not a negative. It is a positive because I want to be part of that journey. Whatever role I can play, I just want to be part of that journey. Successful Black women, it is amazing. Huge green flag. I want to be part of it, and whatever role I play, I'm cool with it because I want her to be the best.
Wow. I was not expecting that. That was okay. All right. Gentleman number 2.
So I say that I've been on both sides where I've made more and she's made more than me. In fact, the young lady I was talking about before that expects the man to pay for everything, she made less than me. And I would say that if I had my way, I would definitely, I would help that we would either be equal or that she would make more because then it shows that you know she can do, she gonna do her own, she can do her whole thing she wanted to. She's with you because she wants to be with you, not because she needs you, like she actually is depending on you for per se. Um, and also it allows me to step up and just do what I naturally do. I naturally like taking care of the woman that I'm in a relationship with and doing doing things for and stuff like that. Um, if I know it's going to be appreciated and if I know that it's going to be well like received. And one of the things I thought about the last question was that women, you can tell who's a giver and who's a taker, right? And when I'm in a relationship with someone that's more of a giver, you can tell like they make you a priority. They show that they're interested in you. They're willing to step out there and take you out if you want to or whatever the case may be because that's just how they are as a person. It's not even like they're even like trying to fake it or trying to make a good impression on you. That's just who they are as a person. You can see that in the way that they take care of people in their family. If they got children, you can see that in the way that with their girlfriends. You know, there's a lot of women that are takers that don't have a lot of girlfriends, and the reason why is because the girls the friends don't want to be around them because they're constantly taking away from the relationship, draining the relationship. And so, I observe like, kind of the kind of relationships that she has with other people, and that's an indication of the kind of the relationship that we could possibly have as well. So, like I said, I would prefer that we make it just as much, or that she even makes more, because it frees me to just be me.
All right. Thank you. Gentleman number 3.
For me, green flag. I've got no problem with a partner making more. I think one of the things that was kind of friendly competition with me and my wife as we were married. We got married when I was in our late 20s. So it was with the taxes, all right, who made more this year? All right, I got you next year. And so we would we would compete. We would compete. But I think a different nuance is that coming into a brand new relationship with somebody who is making more than me. If I was out there, the one thing I would want to be mindful of or pay attention to, because I see this in my some of my high earning friends right now that are still dating. Can you make more and be a partner? Can you make more and be a partner, or what is making more than your partner? How does that show up in a relationship? I think that's important.
Yeah.
And that comes with all of the things that can venture off into a whole other conversation. But I think that, and I think that's true for men too. I think sometimes men can come into a relationship making more and expect a woman to fall in line to a specific position, and that's problematic as well. I think a real relationship is a partnership, and everybody has their role within a partnership. And if you, regardless of what your doctrine is or what your background is, if it's Christian or whatever, like everybody's got their roles within a relationship, and the income shouldn't dictate that, but it should be a motivate. It should help each partner be motivated to be their best version of themselves. So for me, long answer, short question, but a woman having more money than me would be a problem. There's more
Right.
money in the household.
Okay. I have a remix to this, but I want to hear gentleman number 4 answer first.
So I think it's a green flag. If my wife makes more money than me, but I'm gonna piggyback off what Brian said. I think it depends on the inception of the relationship, especially nowadays.
Mhm.
Um, and high earning women are a little different than back in the day. I'm not gonna lie. Being coming from a mother that made more money than my father for years and years and years, she still had a certain core value at the end of the day. She didn't want to do everything that the Joneses are doing. And as I get older, I'm seeing that, in my early 40s, I'm seeing that women in my early 40s that are single, high earners are doing the same thing that women's in their mid 20s, early 30s are doing. And the expectation is, okay, I'm single, but I want to travel this, that, and third. And I understand that. But as a man, I still have other priorities. So when I meet that woman, I need to have a certain nest egg. I need to have this, that, and the third, no matter how much money I make. So I make baby slow down. We can't go to Benihana's. We may have to go to Kobe's. Yeah, Kobe's is $25 a plate. That's still money, but it may not be $60 a plate. Or maybe we can't do this activity, go out. Maybe we can take a walk in the park. Now, if she really, really like you, and nobody really, really likes a person when they first meet you, like they infatuate with you
In
because they
fact,
really don't know you.
mhm.
They don't really know you. They're gonna chase the bag regardless. They may really like you, but old boy may call you this, that, and the third. So at the end of the day, I think it's an inception of the relationship that really dictates how a person treats you, whether you're a high earner or low earner. For men, it's different for women. A man will wife will check out of McDonald's because he thinks he has potential. The woman is looking totally different than the man. And I know we'll get killed in the comments for this. So green flag, regardless. Go and get that money, boo boo.
No, I appreciate that. Corey, I want to hear what your thoughts before I have
I think it's a green flag. I've done it before, but I look at character. So in my 20s, I didn't make a lot of money at all. So I always dated women who make more money. We didn't even have that conversation so much, but I may have known it, and they may have known it as well. And I also had a tendency to date women who, when I was in my early 20s and mid 20s, I dated women who were a little bit older than me. So I knew they made more money than I did. So they weren't with me for the money, you know. So I didn't have a problem with that, and I really didn't care because at the end of the day, I still was taking them out and had to show them a good time and
Mhm.
make them laugh and all this other stuff that they you got to do. So that wasn't a problem for me. I just think that women nowadays, not all women, I hear it a lot. They want their grandfathers or their fathers protection and covering, but they're not willing to do what their grandmothers and their mothers did.
Well,
So that's the problem when it comes to finances. Men ultimately want to protect. We want to take care of. We want to make sure. We want to see you happy. We really do. Sometimes it can't be the way that they want it at the time, but that is ultimately our goal, is to make you happy. I've seen my great uncles do stuff and say, "I'm not doing that for you, Mary Kay, or Alon Ringa, or Luis, all these old names back in the day, right?" But at the end of the day, you'll see them, for whatever reason, break their back to make sure that they had that refrigerator that they may not have been able to afford, or work a double to make sure that they had something. It may not have came when the immediate satisfaction, but it may have came down a little bit later. And I think a lot of times people nowadays, they want it immediately. And if you tell a woman no, then that's where they draw that line, because the money has taken over who they are, as opposed to you using the money as a tool. And to your point, I've seen men do it, and I've seen women do it. The money has taken over who they, and always at some point in time, we've been here. We always humbled. At some point in time, God will humble you in that space. So
yes.
I know you got to jump off, man. Do you want to say anything before you leave? And I know other guys got to as well. Or you want to?
Guys, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to express myself, guys. Thank you to the host for providing the space for us just to have a conversation, and hopefully we could do this again.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for being a part of it. You're gonna miss my remix, but maybe if you can come back in the comments with this one. And this will be quick because I know people do have to go. But again, thank you for being here.
Good seeing you, bro.
Indeed, y'all be good.
Peace.
Take care. My remix to this is I have some friends, and I know I don't want to say a lot of Black women, but I know some Black women who make good money. And that comes with a lifestyle that I would say is probably non-negotiable. Like, certain amount of trips need to be taken, certain things need to be purchased. Now, these women are single. And because they're single, of course, they can purchase what they want. They can go wherever they want to go. But I guess I was curious about, how would you, as a man, kind of deal with a woman who makes good money, is a good person, but has adapted to a certain life where, she's taking maybe 5-6 international trips a year and that type of thing. Like, is that a red flag to you, or would it still be a green flag if she was open and receptive to hearing you say, hey, maybe just scale it back a little bit, or whatever you would need to say to make the relationship work?
If it's a relationship, it's a red flag, because there's no way I can keep up with that. I ain't poor, but I'm a public school educator. So if I have a friend, she is 32 years old. She's doing very well for herself. She literally makes over 400K. Her condo is over $1 million in Washington, D.C. And I'm just like, if I had a romantic relationship with her, there's no chance that I can keep up. And keep up meaning it's not going to be one for one, but like just even keeping the gap close, there's no chance. So if I really want something long term with someone, and I know the gap is that big, unfortunately, I have to analyze myself and be like, you know what, that's not the lifestyle that I want, number one. And number two, financially, there's no way I can even contribute and keep up.
I've seen this in some of my friends' relationships, and I've seen it work very well. I think that both parties have to show up understanding what the circumstances are, and I think you got to be willing to. I think both people have to be willing to adapt. I don't think one person has to adjust to one person's lifestyle. I think both people got to be willing to adapt. If you're the sister making 400K and you've decided to date somebody making 80K, you've decided to date somebody that's not in the same tax bracket, and so you've got to show up and adapt the same way he's got to show up and adapt, or she's got to show up and adapt. That person or the brother's going to be going into spaces that 80K brothers ain't going into 400K spaces the same way. That those are different spaces. He's got to adapt. She's got to adapt to being with an individual that doesn't navigate those spaces. So I think it's got to be somebody adapt to both spaces. I think it's a red flag when somebody's not willing to adapt and compromise. I said, if you're not willing to adapt and compromise, you're not really willing, you're not really ready for a relationship. Because I think if you're a high earning woman, I think you've got to kind of take the same approach as like a high earning man, whereas you can't expect to find a partner that's going to be where you are. It's gonna be nice. Like that's dope. If you making your 6 figures and you find somebody else who make the same 6 figures as you, but it's not as likely to adapt. So you got to, both parties got to be willing to adapt. If there's nobody's willing to adapt, it's a red flag.
Got it. That makes total sense. Anyone else want to jump in on that? Corey or gentleman number 2?
Well, I would love right to see if your experience on that.
No, I would agree. Like it does take two to adapt in that situation when the gap is that big, or when you have somebody that, when you have a woman that's like I said, like traveling, for example, like, or likes expensive gifts and likes expensive, jewelry and clothing and stuff like that, and they're used to, having those things. Yeah, I mean, it's, it may just be one of those things like, I like you, but that's not like, I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm feeling like I'm trying to keep up. Like it's just, because then, there's going to be some regret there, or there's going to be, there's going to be some expectations on her end that may be unfulfilled. And so, when that happens, I just think there just needs to be more communication up front about what's expected. And if each person is willing to, like you said, adapt and make some, be willing to sacrifice some things that they've been used to, then maybe it could work. But most of the time, if that's what you're accustomed to, you don't necessarily want to change that, and I don't want to necessarily change you. Like I don't want to come into the relationship and trying to force you to say, oh, we ain't got to take 5 trips, let's just take 2. Like, no, you hear me? Like if that's what you're used to doing, I don't want to change that, because then you're going to start to resent. Like you're going to start to resent me at some point. Like you may try to do it to keep a front in the beginning and try to be amenable in the beginning, but eventually you're gonna be like, I want to get back to taking my trips like I used to. And so I just think that you can try to have the communication up front, but ultimately it just may be the same way. It works for a time until it doesn't. So.
I agree with that. I appreciate that. Do you have anything to add, Corey?
Repeat the question one more time if I.
It's just black. Well, I'm saying black women. But we're talking about black women probably mostly who make good money, and because they make good money, they have a certain lifestyle that they've adopted, taking a lot of trips, buying expensive things, maybe getting a new car when they feel like it, just living the single life. And then say this person meets you and they want to maintain that same love, that same level. How do you? I mean, is that a red flag that they would want to maintain that same level, and how would you deal with that?
I'm probably going to go. I'm gonna try this a different angle. I'm gonna say I'm kind of repeat what everybody else said and just kind of piggyback on it. But especially what Brian said, like if 2 people come together, you have to adapt. But my only problem with that, and I've said this over and over, and my brother's gonna get me because we talk about this stuff all the time. Financial advisors say that we're supposed to have 6 months of our 6 months of safety nets, right? And they say right. They said 70% of people don't have that, no matter what tax bracket you're in.
Thanks.
They also say, my financial advisor also said 70% of people money come in, money come out. So when I hear these things, no matter, and it's millionaires, it doesn't matter. This is what the United States of America says. So when I hear that all the time, and then I'm like, I don't feel bad for people when it talks about the future and you are not preparing and planning for the future. So when I have to see, and also, I hate to say this out loud, and we've talked about this on like one-on-one, but a lot of us are in debt, and especially women who have all these degrees, net to income ratio is a thing. So
Indeed.
I know women who I've talked to that go on tons of trips, but they have a lot of debt. They
Oh,
have a lot of,
absolutely.
we've all got caught up in the financial debt with student loans, right? College
Mhm.
educated. But when you look at the ratio and like things of that nature, I always wonder, because until you actually sit down and see what the person's finances are, you won't really know if they're going on those trips or not. And I always go on a trip and it's paid for. I never really put too much on credit cards unless I bring it. That's just me, because I don't want to worry about that when I come back. Women are saying this stuff, so that's why I'm trying to take a different approach from this. Like, unless you are having the money to pay for the car and you have a Porsche or whatever, because a lot of times and I hate to keep saying this, when women buy cars, they don't know the maintenance on cars. They don't. It's not when you look at it's not when you turn the car on and you're driving it for 6 months. You wait until the light comes on. Men know, they look at that manual and they know, I got to get this oil change in every 6 months. So I think it's just a different level. I think about those things that heavy, because when people are saying they have all this money, 70% of people, that's not just DC or DMV or wherever, that's around the country. So it can't, who are all these people that have all this money to buy these Porsches? I never see them, because then when something happens or the economy crashes, their suffering is too. So that's all I'm saying. I hope that wasn't, I'm not trying to bash women. I know some who are really good at finances, but typically you all move with your feelings.
I was just gonna say that.
We spend money. We spent money when we were younger, going out in the clubs and bottle service and stuff like that. But when you start understanding investing and stuff like that, you can't, those things don't matter. I'll be quick to say I need to do a pregame before I go out, because I'm not spending all that money on this stuff.
No, I was just about to say that. I mean, as a woman, I can say that a lot of that, I need to take a trip, I need to buy this outfit, a lot of that is rooted in emotions. And like, I need to get these shoes, this purse, and then competition. Women are very competitive, so you're trying to keep up with her, and so yeah, I just thank you for answering that. I think that that's an important thing, especially for the women who watch this, to kind of get some of those nuances. Because again, even though you guys are saying it's a green flag if a woman makes more, a lot of times that comes with, I know what that comes with. And I believe that it could be a problem, just from what I know about men, from being married to a Black man myself, and how like we're having conversations about retirement. And I'll be honest, before I met him, I'm just like, I'm young, I'm living my, and he's like, no, like you said, Corey, 6 months of savings, at least retirement. And I'm like, but I just want to, but again, getting out of that mentality of like, it's not just me now, it's both of us. And we have to kind of think in terms of, well, if one person is down, what if somebody does lose their job? We got to think like that. But as a single woman making money, you just thinking about how cute you want to look at the next party, And so I guess I just wanted to add that, in terms of, you're saying it's a green flag, but you're, being clear about the kind of mentality, you would have to have, the woman would have to have. All right. Well, we are at the end of our time. I don't know, Corey, do you want me to ask the last and final question, or
just real quick? You can real quick, and they can kind of like end with, if they want to be shown on social media platforms, things in that nature, or they just want to say bye.
Okay. So the last question is just like, how do we, we had a great discussion today. How do we move forward? What's next? What is the next step for Black love and relationships, or just love and relationships if it's not Black love? And I'll start with gentleman number one.
Thank you all for thank you for hosting us tonight. I actually learned a few different things that I thought I knew, but I didn't know. So thank you so much for hosting us and the fellow sharing. I think that steps forward are like what you're doing with your platform, is having these open dialogues and sharing how we feel and learning from each other. I think I feel in the Black community, there's a lot of topics we stay away from, and especially our parents keep us away from them when we're young. And then we find out a lot about them when we get older by experience. So I like the fact that we're sharing our forum, people being vulnerable and respectful. So I like the idea of, on platforms similar to like this one and this one, that we openly share and leave ourselves vulnerable and ask clarifying questions and learn from each other. Because unfortunately, again, in the Black community, it's just a lot of things weren't discussed when we were young.
Thank you. Very well said. Thank you. Gentleman number 2.
Yeah, thank you again for hosting this as well. It's been a really good conversation. I learned a lot as well. So I think, like you said, I think continuing to have these types of dialogue and conversations is very helpful because you get to hear different perspectives. Like you said, like I'm sure that um, even you as a moderator, you were surprised at some of our answers. And so like I think the fact that we all come from different backgrounds, we all have different experiences, um, but and so that when you shed light on all that stuff, it helps people to not be so one-sided or to lean on what societal norms are or whatever. Like you can just hear people for who they are and what they've been through.
Mhm.
Um, I told somebody the other day, they was asking like, what's it like dating over 40, over 50, and I was like, it's like taking an open book test.
Mm.
And a lot of times the open book test is a lot harder than a regular test. But it's like, when you've been living long enough, and you've been through it, and, been in enough relationships, and you've had enough experiences, you learn from those things. But it's still, and you can pull on those things, but you get, still being in a relationship with someone new, it's still someone new. They're not the last person. And you still have to go into it with an open mind but still being able to learn from the experiences of your past. And you also have to be able to appreciate and have grace for what they've been through. So
Mhm.
I think that I think if we go into a relationship with that kind of a willingness to learn and to be accepting of others, I think that's how we move forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And gentleman number 3, last but
Uh,
not least.
I said I'm optimistic. I think that it's good for. I said hopefully from this, people are open and can continue to listen to different points of view, and be open to different approaches. I think for me, whether it be politics or relationships, I always like hearing different perspectives. I think there's something to be learned. I think that for all of us that are early 40s, still dating, or in a relationship or in marriages, still dating, our spouses, of course, and still working on those partnerships. I think it's good to be open and listen to different perspectives. Um, and and yeah, I'm optimistic. Corey knows I'm an optimist. He'll call me. He might hit me up like, man, what you think? I think you should try it. You're like, man, no, I think you should try it. So I'm optimistic, man. So I'm looking forward to hearing stories from these brothers and some of the sisters that might be watching. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I guess I'm a pessimist because even though I am married, so I will say that I should. But I think because I have a YouTube channel, because I read lots of comments from a lot of women and men, um, I, I just think it's really difficult, and I'm really glad I'm not on the dating, in the dating scene. But it seems very difficult. Again, listening to the concerns of friends and people I know and folks who've been going on date after date after date, and then there's the whole online. Well, do I meet them in person? Do I meet them on the app? And it's a lot. So I wish your optimism was contagious. And so maybe more conversations like this conversation actually does make me optimistic, I'll be honest. But just when I go online, it's a different story. So
And I think I think online becomes a lot of folks' reality,
Mhm.
and
that's true.
it's not. I think it's a lens into certain things. So yeah.
I agree with that. I think things are amplified online. That is actually true. You're right about that. But there's also the personal, experiences of people that I know, and
Yep.
my own personal. I got married at, what was that, 41. So I had a very long run. I was a single mom for 10 years. So I think my perspective is a little bit, but again, my story shows me that it's possible. I just hope that women don't wait too late. I have a daughter who's a young teen, and my already talking with her about, again, I don't getting married for the first time at 41. That's not the goal. The goal should be, much earlier. And so, although it worked out for me at the last minute, I'm seeing it also not necessarily work out for others. There are women who are late 40s, and they're still trying. So I guess when I say I'm not hopeful, it comes from that place of like, how can we make this easier? And I don't have an answer yet. So sorry to end on such a negative note.
No, it's not negative. It's not negative.
All right. So I guess that's it. Corey, did you have any final words or?
Just to wrap up, thanks, gentlemen, for always being present, always being ready to go, man. I respect, and I've texted you all this all the time. I respect your comments, your insight. I respect you as individual men to even come on and what you're doing for your own communities. I know that we fight this battle a lot of times alone. We are the men in our families. We are the men amongst other men in our communities that people go to, and that is very hard to deal with and hold that on our shoulders every single day. However, a mentor told me a couple years ago, God wouldn't give it to you unless He knew you could handle it. So I will say, you keep the good fight. And encourage the people in your community. I talk to Nakia all the time and Nika all the time about stuff like this, and she probably don't think that I have men around me like this, but you all keep me going all the time. You keep me doing this all the time, and it is hard. It is difficult. It's going to be hard to find that person, but when you find them, it can be easy. And I think you have to humble yourself. And I think you and I talked about that offline. You humbled yourself. You found your man because he found you because you decided to humble yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest thing. A lot of women don't humble themselves and understand where they are, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I would say that we will, if other women would think like you and move in that space, and then they will be blessed with that. So
that makes sense.
That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. This was a true blessing being on here with you guys, and I look forward to seeing what folks are going to say in the comment section.
All right, guys. Iron Circle next week, so please check us out, and I'll put on my Instagram Tomorrow's Man and with the Brother to Brother Show. So be looking out for that. Just for men.
What's the YouTube channel again?
My YouTube channel is my first and last name, which is not up here, but it's Naka C. O'Nillafor. Maybe Corey can.
I'll send it out. Yep.
I'll send it out. Okay. It's a long Nigerian name. So.
Yeah. Okay. But really good. I mean, I found her because she was talking a lot of stuff that we talk about, and you don't see that too often. It's a couple of other women on YouTube who are doing that, and so I found her and love her content, guys. So just shoot it out and just sit down and have conversations. So she's always on. Appreciate it.
Always on. You can find me there. All right. Have a good night, you guys.
Right.
Thank you. Good night.